Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again.
So, hey, you still there? I think I need that new set immediately. Yes, I mean immediately. Half for all? I think I'm gonna go for all on this one. What? No, I'm not bluffing! Yes, I'm gonna keep to the set. Oh, quit stalling. Give me all of them. All of them. Okay, so for those who have been on my channel for a while, you probably already know who Blaze the Movie Fan is. Live action commentator, hit him 2 times in the past. Now, I had really not planned to hit Blaze on my channel again for reasons, but then this video came out. See, Blaze made a commentary on a YouTuber by the name of Lumio's trainer Zach, who made a video in the top 10 things he hates about the Pokemon Black and White anime series, Best Wishes, which ironically enough is my favorite season of the anime. And well, obviously enough the video is flawed, heavily so. I don't think I have anything else to say other than, let's kick this into gear. It's high noon.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Blaze the Movie Fan and it's time for another commentary video. This time I will be defending what I like yet again. Now sometime last year I discovered a video titled Top 10 Reasons Why I Hate the Pokemon Black and White series. And before I dive into the video, let me just say this. I don't think the person I'm commenting on is wrong in any way. He is entitled to his opinion. But I disagree with his opinion. That's the reason why I made this commentary.
Okay then, Blaze, allow me to tell you flat out that your motives are pure and utter garbage. This isn't good motivation in the slightest. If your pure reason for tackling this video alone is simply because you don't agree with his opinion, then why the heck is this labeled as a commentary? Oh sure, commentaries don't always have to have the goal in mind of constructive criticism, but with that being said, why label it a commentary when a response or reaction would have been a much better term? Quite overly nitpicky if you must, but it's just something that really bugs me.
Also, I would like to apologize that it took me so long to finally getting around to making this video. The reason why it took me so damn long is because I had to rewatch every episode of the Pokemon Black and White anime in order to make valid counterpoints.
Oh, you have no idea how much this is going to bite you later on, Blaze.
Alright, there is one praise that I'm gonna give this video right off the bat. That OC looks beyond fucking awesome.
Perfect. Dandy. Absolutely super. Kill me. Okay, Blaze, what the heck are you actually contributing to the video with this? This goes back to my previous point about the whole entire commentary title thing. Considering I want the purpose of a commentary is to critique and in your case debate, how does this serve any purpose? I can see one making multiple arguments to counter this one I just made, so let's play a game, shall we? I call this game, let's see how many of these points I can debunk in the span of a minute. They'll be amplifying my voice pitch for when I'm referring to the other side.
Don't these types of interjections, complimenting or agreeing to the purpose and telling the creators what they did right?
Well sure, but that's rendered mute when Blaze is complimenting Lumious' avatar of all things, and we have no idea who even created it, so for all we know he could be complimenting the wrong person.
Isn't it good for the creators to know they did something right?
Sure, that's motivating and all, but if they do something right, that can also be implied or seen if the commentator in question skips or doesn't debunk the points. Frick, Blaze himself flat out skips 2 entries early in this comp, so by all logic, Lumious could easily assume there was nothing bad that Blaze could counter, thereby meaning that, well, he did good.
Isn't pointing out what the creators did right more helpful than telling them what they did wrong?
This way of thinking is actually asinine, as no, that's not the case in the slightest. Sure, telling the creators what they did right can be helpful and that can motivate them, humans do like praise after all. But by telling them what they did wrong, they can strive to make changes, thereby fixing their own content. And again, avatars. So what do I win? That feeling when you just realized you were talking to yourself.
Number 8. Cilan. Cilan's interesting, right? The reason people don't like him is because he's just a Brock ripoff.
Not at all. Brock and Cilan have almost nothing in common. Sure, they have some similarities, but that doesn't make him a Brock ripoff.
Stopping you right there. Blaze, how did you look over this video and possibly think, That's a good argument. Seriously, how? You make the argument that they have almost nothing in common before immediately admitting that the two characters share similarities. The ripoff in itself can be seen as an inferior imitation of something that came before it. So admitting that they share similarities is honestly just making your point weaker.
I can name countless of differences between Brock and Cilan. For one thing, Brock is overly obsessed with women, while Cilan is not. And even though Brock does cook, Cilan is far more passionate about cooking than Brock is. And Cilan aims on being a Pokemon connoisseur, while Brock aims on being a Pokemon breeder. Those are two totally different things.
Okay, now does it give it an effect that both of the characters are both cooks, thereby still sharing something else in common? No, it doesn't. Then sit down, Blaze. Adding on to this, no, I'm not cutting Blaze off here. After this point in time, the list of similarities that Blaze lists off between two characters ends off coming to a close. And honestly, sure, I'll give that the breeding and not listing after women or two characteristics they don't share in common. But with the cook complaint being the opposite of good, that leaves Blaze with only two examples of actual differences, with only one of them having real significance to the character, that being the goals they tried to pursue. And even then, this said Blaze, you tried so hard but got so far and in the end it didn't even matter, as even then, Cilan can still be seen as a Brock ripoff.
I could go on and on, but you get my point, right? There are far too many differences between the two to justify calling Cilan a Brock ripoff.
If you mean just 3 examples equating to far too many differences, then yeah, you're completely right here.
His goal is to be the best Pokemon connoisseur. No, wait, he's also a detective connoisseur. Oh yeah, he's also a Metro connoisseur. Can't forget about that. And how could I not mention the fact that he's also a fishing connoisseur too? It's the whole reason he left Ash in the first place. So yeah, this dude was a connoisseur for everything. It was fun at first, but it just got annoying and stale as the series went on.
I do see where you're coming from. The fact that someone is too perfect can be a problem.
Blaze, no, you missed Lumios's point. Lumios wasn't saying the problem was that Cilan was too perfect. Hell, he never even implied that in his reasoning. More so, he mentioned he was a connoisseur for everything. It didn't even say if Cilan was even good at the things he was a connoisseur for. But saying he's perfect is honestly committing a straw man since Lumios never implied that. Even then, Lumios's point was more so going off of how his whole entire thing of Cilan being a connoisseur for everything was a repetitive gag that got old very quick.
But now I'm going to explain why I personally like Cilan. He is nice, very smart, a good friend with us, always gives him good advice, and is a very fucking great cook.
Okay, this bugs me on multiple levels. Okay, Blaze, or any commentator out there really, I feel there's something of great importance that needs to be acknowledged. Not that we're all going to die in a blaze of fire someday, nor some questionable things about Blaze himself. No, my message is far, far more important. Adding in your subjective opinions don't do jack! Seriously, Blaze, this is gonna be one of the worst things you can do in a commentary. And, oh yeah, don't think I didn't see that comment of yours in my comment section. Let me say it word for word. Okay, one thing I will say though, I hope you won't get on my case with subjective points with the video, and will admit most commentaries by the CC are meant to prove someone wrong, but that wasn't the point of my commentary. The main point of my commentary was just defending what I like in a civil and respectful manner. Just wanted to get that out there. Oh, I've got something I want to get out there too. Blaze, no, this response of yours is nothing more than damage control, pure and simple. You keep on finding ways to prove my point of this video being labeled wrong. In this commentary of yours, you don't just debate your personal opinion, try to explain how Lumios's reasoning is wrong. Granted, you pitifully fail, but we'll get to that. Your excuses are contradicted by the form of your video and you're calling this a commentary. You're trying to paint your video as a response. Adding on to this, I'm getting PokeTuber flashbacks here. Because a little known fact, reasoning can still be debunked. Adding on to the issue, even if I was to agree with what you say, your argument is still complete another garbo. If you just say Cilan is these things, you provide no explanation or examples. He's a good friend to Ash? How? Good advice? Like what? Kill yourself and let a new character take charge of the series? Anyways, TLDR, frick your excuses, I'm still pointing out your subjective garbage.
Plus, I don't know if it's cause he's a connoisseur or cause his gym's a restaurant, but all his damn food metaphors were super dumb and super cheesy in my opinion.
A delicious treat for the eyes, like a family recipe lovingly handed down from generation to generation. I like my battles spicy and with a lot of heat. A delicious dollop of firepower.
Oh god, just talk like a normal person.
Well, it makes sense that he talks like that if you think about it. He is, after all, a fucking cook. Cooking is his passion.
And it's my passion to bury brain-dead points in the ground. Blaze, you know this list is focusing on the reasons why Lumiose hates Best Wishes, right? Lumiose finds Cilan's dialogue in this regard as frustrating and cheesy, and well, it's his opinion. This is one of the few times where the opinion card can actually work. You just saying there's a reasoning for Cilan doing these things doesn't debate the fact that the Lumiose is still, and I quote, super dumb and super cheesy.
Number 7. Iris.
Lumiose, I already have Blaze on my hit list for today. Kindly don't make yourself a target.
Now I actually had high hopes for Iris when she was first introduced. After getting 2 girls with the exact same goal, it was nice to get something different with Iris.
They might have hit the exact same goal, but the way they went about it are different. For starters, May was not fucking annoying.
Goes on to say that the way they went about their goals was completely different. Goes on to how one of the characters wasn't annoying. Kindly electrocute your Squirtle, because unless you can actually stick to the topic that you yourself started, this comes off as incredibly displaced.
Unlike Dav.
Unlike Dav. Dav, okay, how? I know flat that you have a speech impediment that you can't control, but at least when it interferes sometimes you can still see it come close to the word you were intending to go for. But Dawn and Dav, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things makes you want to strangle cute puppies.
Oh god, I fucking hate that annoying cunt.
Well, it's nice to know Blaze has some standards at least.
All she really did was to cry like a little bitch. I can't fucking stand her. May, on the other hand, was nice, fun, and was always positive.
Wait, stop. Blaze, this goes back to one of my previous points, but what exactly is this actually debating? Yeah, you're able to bring up some differences between the characters, but their personalities have no influence on their actual goals at hand. No matter how the characters both acted, both of their goals are to become coordinated at the end of the day. Honestly, I have no idea for what you're even trying to debunk here.
She wants to become a Dragon Master. And how does she do this? By training an Axew, pretty good start, an Excadrill, random but okay, and an Emolga. What? Yeah, pretty weird team for someone who wants to become a Dragon Master. The problem with Iris is that she doesn't really do much to achieve her goal. Maybe the writers forgot about her or something, cause they wait until after Ash gets his 8th gym badge to make her catch another dragon type. And since it was pretty late into the series, they went ahead and gave her a fully evolved Dragonite. You gotta be kidding me. You can tell they tried really hard to develop her goal near the end of the series, but by then it was too late.
If Iris had nothing but dragon types, her team would be extremely stale and boring.
Well, in that case, Blaze, maybe the show shouldn't have given Iris that goal of being a Dragon Master in the first place. Now fine, I understand that would cause some issues with Iris being in the game, Black and White specifically, because Champion Iris is basically Lance, and Manga as a Dragon-type trainer, but if the anime was to give her this goal that's barely actually developed, maybe it shouldn't have been a thing in the first place.
And that is exactly the issue that I have with Misty. She only has one Pokemon that isn't a water type, and that is Togetic. But the rest of her Pokemon are fucking water types. And that's a big problem to me because that means that her team lacks variety. I find Iris's team far more interesting. Also, regarding your point that Iris doesn't do much to accomplish her goal. That is false. She might only have one dragon type before she gets the Dragonite, but she trains her Axew a fucking lot.
Oh, that's funny. Is that why by the end of the series Axew remains unevolved and only learns a whopping 2 moves? To put in a perspective of how bad it is for Axew in this, let me bring up that the 2 moves Axew learned in the series were Outrage early on, and Giga Impact near the end. Now both are incredibly powerful moves, but the training was so good. Explain why Outrage is never used again besides the episode that it debuted. Yeah, I'm not making this up. Outrage has been confirmed to have only ever been used once in one episode, and no, it's not for the reason of causing confusion and pain to Axew. No, it's actually never brought up, period.
There are a lot of scenes in the series that are dedicated to her training her Axew. Though I will say this, the fact that the Axew never evolved really was a missed opportunity.
Hey Blaze, how's that foot doing? Rotting away and decomposing probably, shooting yourself in the foot is never fun. Nah, I'm skipping forward a bit since Blaze makes a point I can't actually debunk.
Number 6. The Rivals. Okay, I can't be the only one who had a problem with this. The Black and White series had way too many rivals.
So there are a lot of rivals. So?
Literally when Blaze cuts back to the video!
Ash's main rival, Tripp. Okay, that's fine. Then we got Bianca, his secondary rival. Okay, that's fine too. Then we got Stefan. When we first met him, he seemed like a random trainer, but nope. He's Ash's third rival. Okay, that's weird. Then we got Luke. What the heck? And then after Ash gets his 8th gym badge, we get Cameron. Whoa, relax. And then, literally right before the league, we get Virgil. Calm down.
I hope you know kiting people is the crime. Also, the point name Blaze never actually addressed. Lumios. No, Luke was never an actual rival. Oh sure, he appeared in one of the tournaments and fights Iris, but besides that, the only other role he was actually ever involved in were filler episodes involving Ash and the gang making movies. That isn't a rival. Bianca is a perfect example of a rival, appearing in multiple tournaments, fighting Ash and the gang, and having impact in the actual story, if not minor. That's a rival. Luke is an acquaintance.
Ash had so many rivals this time that none of them got the right amount of development. They used those stupid tournament arcs to give them all a chance to shine, but since all of them were there at the same time, we could never really focus on just one. Stefan being the only exception though.
I completely disagree. With an exception of Luke, I can tell you the personality of all of these rivals right off the bat.
Seriously, this is nothing more than asinine filler. Fine, you can remember all of the characters' personalities. Fine, that doesn't debunk that the Lumiosity doesn't feel the characters got enough development. Adding on to this, I'd like to direct you to this comment in the comment section by Blaze saying that he watched every episode of Best Wishes before actually releasing the comm. Okay then, if this is true and you actually did watch all the episodes, no duh, you're going to remember the personalities better than Lumios. And... Wait! Time out! This point is rendered even more mute. Lumios was talking about how the characters to him didn't get enough development. Not that the characters' traits are hard to remember. Kill me with a rusty spoon. Blaze, you are adding nothing to this.
I will not be talking about Tripp, so you will be talking about him in a later entry, and I will talk about him when we get there. Stefan is a very good friend of AES, and even respects him, and he always gets annoyed by people saying his name wrong. Though I don't fucking get how people are getting his name wrong at all.
That's the joke though. Characters keep getting the name wrong. It's like what they did with Butch. It's just a running joke. It's not supposed to make sense. You just seem to have flown over your head. I'm pretty sure if you were dead, Mario would be urinating on your grave right now. Now skipping the rest because frick your opinion.
The whole rivals thing got so ridiculous that they even gave Iris and Cilan a rival.
Look at this face! More proof of best Pokégirl! Wait, was I supposed to be doing something right now? Oh yeah, the comm.
Cilan has a rival. Let that sink in. Did we really need that?
Now I don't think that giving Cilan a rival was a bad idea. But how it was executed was simply horrible. Cilan's rival was a fucking embarrassment. There is no denying that. She knows fucking nothing about being a connoisseur. In fact, she makes connoisseurs look bad. Especially since she has so low fucking grades. Why am I bringing this up? Because you forgot to talk about Cilan's rival and explain why she sucks.
I'm giving a minute before this claim ends up backfiring.
Opportunity to expand on your point, but you didn't. As for Iris' rival, well, she is fucking awesome.
Oh hey, 9 seconds! It's a new Academy record! Tiny Pony's in the house. No, that meme isn't dead. I'm not letting it be. I also have a special song for this. Prepare for trouble! Make it double! Standards. Like seriously, it's a problem when Lumios himself doesn't go on to elaborate on what makes Iris and Cilan's rivals suck, and yet when you don't decide to elaborate on why George is the great rival for Iris, everything is peachy clean. Blaze? No. Bad boy. Down. Now, could this commentary just please go and play dead?
Number 5. Tripp. Tripp gets his own special little spot because my reasons for hating him is a completely different story. To be honest, he felt like a reaction to Paul, if anything. The writers saw how well Ash vs. Paul went during the Diamond and Pearl series, so they tried to replicate that in the Black and White series. I didn't like that. They made him always beat Ash, like Paul. They made him always talk down to Ash, like Paul. And they always made him one step ahead of Ash, like Paul. We get it. Paul was a good rival, but that doesn't mean you have to do the same thing. Since we had 50 million other rivals during this region, it took away from some of the development that Tripp could have gotten that would have made him as good as Paul. Maybe if the writers made him his own character instead of a Paul wannabe, his rivalry with Ash would be a lot better.
I agree with you that Paul is fucking awesome and far better than Tripp is. But I wouldn't exactly say that he is a Paul ripoff. All those similarities you listed between Tripp and Paul, you know who it also applies to? It also applies to Gary Oak. But you wouldn't say that Paul is a rip-off of Gary, would you now? No, of course not. That would be ridiculous. There are a lot of differences between Tripp and Paul. For one thing, Tripp is mainly a photographer. Paul is not. Also, all Paul did was to call Ace pathetic. He never really gave him advice on how to improve. Tripp, on the other hand, did give Ace advice on how to improve. Because he's a photographer, he noticed many problems that Ace didn't notice.
Many problems? You mean one? Somebody's favorite season is Best Wishes. Let me point out that your argument is completely and utterly wrong. Only one time in the series does Tripp actually help Ash and Annie man with his photography skills, that being in Ash and Tripp's third battle. And yes, that is actually the name of the episode, in which Tripp points out to Ash that Oshawott has his eyes closed when using Aquajet, which greatly hampers the accuracy of the move. Besides that time, Tripp never uses photography skills to actually help Ash. So in other words, you're pulling this out of your ass.
And that really helped him improve. Now look, I'm not saying that Tripp is anywhere near as great as Paul is, because he isn't. But what I am saying is that calling him a Paul ripoff is just wrong.
Ignoring that Tripp still has many similarities to Paul, which Lumia's caught out, which you left in the video, which still falls under the definition of ripoff. Can I die now?
Number 4. Ash's Pokemon. Just like how Ash had too many rivals in this region, he had way too many Pokemon.
I think the fact that he has so many Pokemon in this region is a good thing, because it gives his team huge variety.
This was the first region where Ash had a rotation of Pokemon instead of just 6. And although this might be cool, the problem with that is that some Pokemon got way more time to shine than others. Since Ash was too busy using Pikachu, Pignite, and... yeah, just those two, he left others like Palpitoad, Bulldor, and Unfezant in the background. Maybe they wouldn't have sucked so much if they had more time to shine.
You interjected right before Lumios explained. Are you having fun torching me right now, Blaze?
I'll admit though, I did like Crocodile, Scraggy, and Oshawott, but the rest were kinda lame.
I will give you that Palpitoad and Bulldor didn't really have much of a personality. But I would argue that not all of us as Pokemon are supposed to have personality. Some of them are just used to battle and that's it. And that doesn't make them bad. I mean, a lot of SS Pokemon from other regions don't have much of a personality either.
Blaze, eat an entire bag of something! Oh my gosh, where do I even begin on this one? First off, how many things can you pull out of your ass, Blaze? Traits were never even brought up in this part of the list. Humans was focusing primarily on how the other Pokemon barely got as much screen time when we were useful in battle. This whole thing about traits literally comes out of nowhere. Second, so because Ash's Pokemon from other regions don't have personalities, it works as an excuse for the ones in Unova not being the same? What kind of logic is this? Adding onto this distorted thinking, I mean, hey, you're calling this video a discussion of opinions? Okay then, opinions can be supported by facts, something you yourself seem to lack. I mean, you say lots of Ash's Pokemon from other regions don't have much personality, yet never go on to giving examples of which Pokemon. In other words, nothing you say can be taken at face value.
Pignite was an Infernape ripoff that can never come close to the original.
The only thing Pignite and Infernape have in common is the fact that they were both abandoned by their trainers, and that's it. They have absolutely nothing else in common.
Being abandoned by their trainers, both being fighting types by the end the series is done, both end up evolving, both end up actually getting revenge on the trainer that previously owned them. Oh, sorry, what was that? Couldn't hear you over me proving your statement is incorrect.
And I'm sorry to say, but I'm not a fan of when people throw the word ripoff around. That word rarely is accurate.
Oh, you mean like your video so far?
Snivy is implied to have left his previous trainer, but we don't really get anything from this besides the assumption made by Ash and his friends, so that was stupid.
Yeah, I will give you that, not much was explained, but who says that it has to be an explanation? Leaving things out in the show is a good thing, because that opens to speculations.
Ignoring the fact that Snivy's past is still never really developed by the end of the series. Seriously, you say speculation, yet once Snivy is captured by Ash, his story kind of vanishes. Actually, we get maybe something with Pignite in the episode where he evolves, but even then it's nothing more than a slight implication. If Snivy's past was more developed in the anime besides the episode I mentioned in the debut, you may have a point, but otherwise you have nothing.
The Unova League. Okay, I won't go too in depth with this because I uploaded a whole video reviewing the Unova League, so you should check that out if you want my full opinion.
I could comment on that video, but I'm not going to do it for one major reason. I agree that the Pokemon League in Unova is very lackluster. The Club Trojan and the Junior Cup battles are a lot fucking better. Which is sad because the battles in the league usually are the best one in the series.
For starters, Ash's first battle in the league is with Tripp, so we don't get an epic full battle conclusion like the other rivals. He gets defeated halfway through an episode and just kinda leaves.
I completely agree with you on that. I was so excited to see a full 6-6 battle between Ash and Tripp. But that never fucking happened, and I am dissatisfied with that even to this day. Not to mention, that battle that they did have in the league fucking sucked. Ash only won by pure fucking luck. So this wasn't even a real battle.
Next is the fact that we literally spent a whole episode on Axel getting lost, which, don't even get me started on that.
So there's a filler episode. So the other Pokemon series also had filler episodes before or during the league. So why are you giving these series a free pass?
Implying he was giving this previous series any type of pass. Lumiose never even brings up any of the other seasons as a comparison for this filler episode. So you're quite literally putting words in his mouth. Could you please kindly stop choking him? It's gross.
And finally, Ash loses to Cameron even though he brought 5 Pokemon to a full 6-on-6 battle. Pretty stupid.
The fact that Cameron won makes a lot of sense if you think about it. I mean, sure, he made a lot of stupid decisions during the battle.
What the hell? What the flipping hell is this? Oh my gosh, this is one of the best things I've ever seen. For those who have no idea why this is so funny, look at the shot compared to every other thing in the commentary. The color's been tinted a slight red. Oh my gosh, Blaze, was this seriously the best way for you to demonstrate anger? This honestly might be the worst excuse for anger I've ever seen in a commentary. For one, the lighting is changed to demonstrate your anger, sure, but it's so light somebody could easily just pass over it and miss that detail. 2, your inflection sounds so incredibly bored and monotone that it's hard to believe an audience is supposed to be angry. Like, holy crud, I've seen more emotion from Sean S. than you in this instance. Seriously, if you're going to try doing forced anger, at least actually try instead of doing this half-hearted sorry excuse.
But you have to keep in mind that he had 2 very fucking powerful Pokemon. And these are his Lucario and Hydreigon. That is a perfectly legitimate reason why he was able to defeat theirs.
A perfectly legit reason, possibly, but does this in any way negate the fact that Ash losing to a trainer who only brought 5 Pokemon and was still kind of a dunce is an annoyance to Lumiose? No, then kindly pay attention.
Number 1. Ash Ketchum. Yep, that's right. Ash himself is the number 1 reason why I hate the Pokemon Black and White series. Ever since Ash lost to Tripp Snivy, I knew something was up with this series. Sure, you can blame it on Zekrom, but because of this, Tripp got super cocky and annoying. And then Ash lost to him again. And again. Again. You see, every series before this one has Ash carry over all the knowledge and experience that he had during his previous journey. That's why he was so great during Sinnoh. He was at his peak. But once the Black and White series started, looks like the writers hit the reset button with Ash and made him 10 years old again.
Actually, Ash is 10 in all the series. That never changes. And that's not an opinion, that's an absolute fact. Ash is always fucking 10.
Blaze, that's not what he meant. He's talking about Ash's level of skill, starting out as if you're a beginner once again back in Kanto. He's not complaining about Ash's little age. Are you really this desperate to search for points?
Because of this, it's like he's a beginner again. He does things like catch Pokemon without even weakening them, forgetting about type matchups, or even forgetting what certain moves do.
I do see where you're coming from, but I think that this was done for humor. The fact that Ash is so dumb in this region is exactly what makes it so fucking funny in my opinion.
Okay, I'm done. I'm ending this commentary here because I legitimately can't take any more of this. Now, I had originally planned on adding final thoughts here, but I think my thoughts kind of speak for me in this video. Now, but one thing to say before I end this commentary, Blaze, despite the multiple shots I took of you in this video, I do not hate you as a person. I don't think you're a great content creator, but I know you can improve from this. And that's for you, Lumiose. You don't like Iris, you get nothing. Anyway, this is Jonah Smith saying, watch out, I bite.